Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Making 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 8 of What If Naruto was created from the God Tree. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was the ultimate scene on this channel, and enjoy that guys. And over in Anime King, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto had a solo sensei, so go ahead and enjoy that as well guys. And over in Anime King 2, I post a brand new episode of What If Naruto had a powerful familiar, so go ahead, check out that and enjoy as well guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click the red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support, and not to mention, go ahead and comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. Links will be down in the description for the other channels, so go ahead and check them out and turn on that bell notifications they posted. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode start? The intro. So the last part we left off, the one that came over was none other than Hayashi, as he came to speak to Kushina regarding his wife, Hitomi, who was Kushina's best friend. Hitomi had been sick, bedridden for a long while now. It turns out that her chakra was somehow killing her, as the medics had no idea what was wrong. They couldn't tell what was wrong because there was no evidence of anything in her system. Her chakra was just reacting negatively to her body. As he asked if Naruto could remove her chakra from her. But Kushina was worried, as she wasn't sure if Naruto taking her chakra would also give him the same sickness. Hitomi was against this as well, as she didn't want anything to happen to that child. As the woman was just kind, and she wouldn't want to put any child through this, what she was going through at the moment. But if Naruto was able to divert the chakra somewhere else, Hayashi would even take her place. As Kushina knew that he loved his wife. He was always stern and serious, but he loved his children and his wife. And she knew that if he lose Hitomi, it would break the man badly. But she would have to see first before she agreed to anything. Meanwhile, that was going on, Naruto and his crew met the group from Kumo, as it was a team consisting of Yujito, Samui, and also C. As they realized that Naruto and Itachi were not ordinary Genins. Uncle was a bit fast as well, but those two were on a different level. Things escalated as they got to the first port, as one of the 7 ninja swordsmen with a massive blade in his back. They had to pass through the diversion, as Naruto and Itachi were not affected by the genjutsu, because Naruto's body absorbed the chakra, but Itachi used Sharingan to see through it. As they made their way to the proper room, with that they were escorted by the sensei, the proctor of this exam, as he was one of the members of 7 swordsmen. He had the executioner blade. As he introduced himself to them afterwards, he brought them towards a massive forest lake, as they were to find their village symbol on the flag inside. It could be at the bottom of the ocean or anywhere else. Each team had 3 flags in there. Each team must get a flag. If their enemy decided to burn or destroy their flag, there was no way that they could pass the exam, so they had to move fast and quick. They had to survive, and also, they could die in here, as they could eliminate each other. A group from Kieri stepped forward, as Many was rather angry that Konoha decided to send only one team, as Naruto stared him down. Mainjutsu his name was, as he was trained to become a future swordsman, one of 7 ninja swordsmen, but Naruto's glare had him backing away from him, as Naruto's look was just that unsettling. As Mainjutsu decided to push his luck afterwards, he was gonna have them all to himself in the forest. So with that, they enter said forest as they made their way. As they spoke, Uncle almost got killed as the traps inside were rather dangerous, but Naruto saved her. That was when main Jutsu and his group attacked them. Itachi knocked him down with a kunai, as Naruto subdued the others with wooden vines, as Anko moved towards main Jutsu, but his body could liquefy. So that is exactly what he did as his body turned to liquid, the kunai slipping right through him like it was never there. He then stabbed Anko right in the chest. Naruto watches Anko collapse, and he went crazy. His power exploded outwards. Itachi's Sharingan was forcefully deactivated. Main Jutsu body solidified instantly, as everyone's chakra seemed to be gone in this radius of Naruto. The forest itself started to tremble and shiver. As it started to die, the trees started to lose their vitality and life. All tailed beasts around the world felt it. Every single tailed beast, the 9 tails, 1 to 9 felt the power fluctuation. But that was not all. A pair of Rinnegan eyes opened up. But this was not the leader of the Akatsuki, this was someone else. Someone that has been dead for a long time now. But those were not the only one, there was a crack. The seal that held back one of the most powerful individuals in the world. Currently broke. As a woman with lavender eyes just like the Hyugas opened her eyes, as she couldn't believe what she was sensing. She was not the only one, though a black and white creature, Zetsu, was rushing toward the scene with maximum speed. It can't be. How could this be possible, he thought to himself as he rushed towards the location. As Naruto calmed down, but his eyes were different as Anko noticed them. Anko was now fine. It seems that Naruto had healed her. As she felt his chakra, it had healed her wound like it was never there. She swore that she almost died, or perhaps she did, but he reversed it, she didn't know. As Naruto got up as she fell off him, his eyes were red. They looked at the Sharingan, they had totems in them but 9. And not to mention they were red with circles around the totem in the center. As main Jutsu watched as Naruto walked towards him, as he was shaking in fear. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across the PlayStation for yourself. So to begin this new episode, let's get right into this guys. Zetsu, a creature that has been upon this world for a very long time. Zetsu had done many things, planned many things, did many things, but never had he ever been so surprised in his life. When he felt that power, he could have sworn that the Jubi had been brought back. But what he saw shocked him. A child with red, crimson hair, his eyes showing the Renni Sharingan. As Zetsu could not believe it. Those were the eyes of the 10-tailed beast. But how was this possible? How could a human possess this? This was not his doing, as Zetsu did not understand. But what he did understand was that the child was angry. Zetsu had to move, as he could feel it, the approaching wave. He watched as all life in the vicinity, not human but plant life, was being erased. He stepped back as the thing was siphoning off chakra into its body, like a beacon. The humans that were around it quickly moved, but there was one left though. A boy with white hair and purple eyes. And it seems like this child was angry at him. At the moment, main Jutsu tried to get up, but before he could, Naruto's feet rose. Main Jutsu felt pain unlike any pain before. He couldn't feel his chakra. Next thing he knew, he was down through several trees. His body broken into a large slab of stone. Main Jutsu was confused. What hit him? As he slowly focused and opened his eyes, only for Naruto's fist to connect in his stomach. Blood bursted from his mouth like a fountain. Several internal organs of his was ruptured in that point. As Naruto placed a hand on his chest before he brought his hand up, main Jutsu screamed as he was launched in the air by an unseen force. As Naruto's eyes focused on him, the trees and the stones that were now dried up, they started to be rooted out of the earth. The ground itself was being torn apart. Main Jutsu screamed as his hands were spread wide, so were his legs. The next thing he knew, he was assaulted. Stone, trees, thick slab of earth started to viciously slam into him. His body was crushed under everything. The proctor of the desk Juzo came to a complete stop. "What the hell is that?" he said. Everyone watched as a miniature moon formed above them, as it then stopped. Yagura looked through his window as he opened it. "What is that?" he said, as he was confused. As Naruto leaped up into the heavens, his body floating, the power fluctuation was still around him, as he seemed to distort time itself. He was bending space and time. His eyes were still unfocused, like he was not himself. Suddenly, he started to shake. His shirt started to twist as something burst on his back. Something large. The thing was dark. A more pale complexion like the Jubi skin. It had a head of a strange animal. It seemed to be reptilian, but it had so much teeth. Its eyes were blanked. Whatever it was though, it opened its mouth to the heavens. A screeching sound could be heard. All proctors and villagers could see what was going on from where they were because a ball that was so massive filled the sky. Clouds, sun. Everything was blocked out for a second until the ball compressed. The strange creature then swallowed it before it pointed directly under the spear that Mainjutsu was in. It then released it. The cataclysmic blast made contact as it shot in the heavens. The mist around them, the sky, the clouds, everything was just blown as the attack shot straight off. It didn't even look like it stopped. People were astonished. Did it just shut up into space? As for the spear that Mainjutsu was in, well, that was reduced to cinders. It was just erased. Yagura stood at his window, completely shocked as he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Was that one of the Genins? No, it can't be. On the other hand, Juzo and his approaching team consists of Jonin and Chonins arrived to see Naruto floating in mid-air. He was the one. The reptilian head turned towards them. "Naruto!" The scream from Anko and Itachi could be heard as both of them jumped up to the nearest broken tree as they screamed out his name. As Naruto looked down, "You are mine." The voice echoed in his head as Naruto found himself in a strange place. There was nothing but white around him. He couldn't see much as he felt a hand caress his cheek. "You belong to me. And soon enough, you will be my salvation to free me from my prison." The hand was so warm. The sensation was comforting. As Naruto felt the other hand placed on his cheek. As it caressed his cheek, "Naruto, I like the name. You belong to me. Do you hear me, Naruto?" she said. As he could clearly tell that it was a woman, but he wasn't sure who exactly it was. "I belong to you," he said. "Yes, you are mine. Remember that. You are mine." As Naruto wasn't sure what it was, something yanked him. At least that is what he felt. It was like something yanked him back. As Naruto felt himself falling. "Don't listen to her!" a voice shouted at him. As Naruto looked off in the distance to see a man standing there with strange Rinnegan eyes. How did he even know that? That they were Rinnegan, he didn't know. As he fell. But Naruto fell into the arms of Anko, who caught him. In the real world. As Anko checked his pulse, she looked towards Itachi. He's alive. As Naruto had been knocked unconscious. Itachi breathed a sigh of relief, as he thought for the worst when Naruto just started to fall from the heavens. Luckily he was caught. Meanwhile, "Jozu, what do we do, sir?" "Leave them be," the proctor said as he had no idea what to do. It was a team from Konoha. Now he saw why the Hokage only sent one team. If they were this powerful, how could this be Genin level? That kid just created a miniature moon, if he was not mistaken, and blew it up with one attack. As the people were still speechless at the display. Was something like that even possible? Time skip. When Naruto woke up, he was on a bed. as he wasn't sure where he was. The last thing he remembered was feeling so angry. He's never been that angry before, and thus, it brought out something that he wasn't sure what it was. So much rage. And it was just too much for his mind to focus. And then came the power, and then everything went white. He then remembered wanting to make him pay. Mainjutsu, that was his name, as he wondered if he killed him. It was then that something came out of the ground. Ah, you're weak. As Naruto slowly turned his head, there was a strange creature beside him. As Naruto sat up in bed and looked at the creature, he realized he was in a room. The creature was black entirely, all black, as he wasn't sure what it was. It was looking at him though. It spoke, but its lips did not move. "What are you?" said Naruto. "You will come to find out soon enough. But you, on the other hand, you being alive, let alone existing, is something that has never been seen before. I must say I'm intrigued. But you have exactly what I need. I need you to." The creature went back in the ground, as it just vanished. Naruto was confused until Anko opened the door. Anko smiled at him. "You're awake," she said, as she looked rather happy. His eyes had returned back to normal, as she rushed over and hugged him. As Naruto was confused at first, but you remember what his mother told him as he hugged her back. As Anko was his friend, he should be kind. She pulled back, as she looked at him with such a grateful smile. "You saved me," she said. "I thought I had died, but you saved me." "Thanks," she said. "Thank you so much," as she hugged him once again. "Where are we?" said Naruto. "Well, after you passed out, we took you towards the mountain top. And we got in because we had our scroll, and you were with us," she said. "Do you remember anything?" "Rage. Seeing you get hurt. I was sad. I was upset that you had gotten hurt by that guy, so I wanted him to pay. So I did. Yeah, he paid alright. You blew him up. First you created a moon. You trapped him inside of said moon and then you shot it with this high cannon bomb, something I'm not sure. And then it blew up. What was that?" she asks. "I'm not sure. Your eyes. They're back to normal. Do you know they change when you were fighting?" "They change?" As Naruto felt the sensation, his eyes then switched. "They're back," Uncle said. As she looked around, she then took off her headband and showed it to him. As Naruto narrowed his eyes, "The Ren Sharingan," he said. "Wait, that's the name? How do you know that?" "I don't know," said Naruto. As he pulled himself up, "Easy," said Uncle. "I'm not sure you should be moving." "Do not worry, I'm fine," he said. As he sat up, "Where's Itachi?" "He's speaking with Kakashi." "Hey, I'm sorry, okay?" "For what?" Naruto asked. "Well, for ruining things. I mean, I rushed in without thinking, and I almost died. And not to mention what happened to you. I'm not sure if it's a good thing or bad. Well, you show them that you're a lot stronger than you let on, which is still baffling to most people. They keep on staring at us. But I guess I gave away some of your secrets, huh?" "There's nothing for you to apologize for," said Naruto. "I didn't know I could do that." You didn't?" "Oh, I thought you knew and you kept it away from me," she said. "But I must say that's some ridiculous amount of power. And you're just a genin." "Huh. Well, sorry again," she said. "Next time I'll take my time to check things over, so I don't hold you guys back, okay?" I said, "There's nothing for you to apologize about. It's quite alright." "Yeah, you say that because you're kind," she said. "But I think about things rather differently. You and Itachi are in a league by yourself. Well, you, mostly, but Itachi's a lot better. I'm not really that special." And if you hadn't done all that back then, I could have cost us, and we would have failed. Naruto reached forward. What are you doing? As he pulled her head in his chest, and started to streak her hair down. Naruto? Yes? What are you doing? I saw my mother did this to my little sister, when she was unhappy. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be alright, darling, he said. As Uncle Cheeks turned red a bit. No, he wasn't calling her darling. He was repeating what his mother was saying. She knew that. But it felt nice. As he kept on stroking her hair. That was the scene that Itachi and Kakashi walked in on. Are we interrupting? Asked Kakashi. Uncle realized that they were in there, as she was getting lost in having her hair streaked like this that she didn't even notice. Nothing's there to interrupt, she said. So, what's up? As she didn't know why, but she felt a bit embarrassed and flustered as she watched the two of them look at her. As Kakashi merely giggled to himself, a rather amused look on his face, as you could see it all from that one eye. It was quite the performance. Itachi, on the other hand, always looked normal. He didn't laugh, but his face didn't look bland as usual though. Well, Naruto, what happened out there, he asks. I got the gist from these two, but what happened to you? I thought we said we weren't gonna go overboard. And I mean creating a moan and blowing it up. That's going a bit overboard. It was an accident, said Naruto. Yeah, I know it was, but what happened? Anger. It got the better of me, said Naruto, and I lashed out. It was then that Kakashi focused on his eyes, seeing that Naruto's head was turned to the side he did not see. What are those? Said Kakashi. As Itachi froze, he didn't see them because Uncle was the only one that saw them. She told him that something was up with Naruto's eyes. But now, Itachi stepped closer, as he waved his two fingers in front of Naruto's face. I can see you, said Naruto. What happened to your eyes? The Reni Sharingan. What's that? Asked Itachi. I am not sure, but that is the name of them. Huh. The Reni Sharingan. What exactly are they? I'm not sure yet, said Naruto. But they're kind of like your eyes, but seem to be more powerful. Judging by the look, I would say so, said Kakashi, as he almost looked like a different form of the Mangekyo Sharingan. But he heard about the legends, eyes of gods. A man that's said to be the god of all shinobis. Not Hoshirama, he was speaking of a sage of six paths, and the description looked like this, but it was never said to be red, and not to mention it had totems in it like the Sharingan. Are they stuck like that, Kakashi asks. As Naruto blinked, as his eyes returned back to normal. Do you have to use them while fighting? No, I don't think so. Why? Well, don't activate them while we're here, okay? Until we get back and find out some more. Don't let anyone else see them. As Naruto nodded, as he picked himself out of bed. There's a giant hole in the back of your shirt, Uncle said. There is? Yeah, remember I told you. That thing came from your back and released that cannon. Kakashi will have to wait until they get back to the village for them to speak about this. Uncle, he said. Oh yeah, Uncle said. As she went quiet. As they weren't sure what this is yet, but not knowing and having other nations found out the secrets of is Jennings. Well, Kakashi was not about to let that happen, even though they did not know as well. So they will just have to keep it quiet for now. As Naruto took off his shirt and his undershirt, Uncle was surprised, as she's never seen him without a shirt before. And his body was well toned. It wasn't that overly muscular that someone had put in extra training, and also it wasn't that flimsy either. As she had to look, as Itachi caught her looking, as he found it rather amusing seeing the look on her face once she got caught as she looked away. Do you have my scroll, said Naruto. Oh yeah, said Kakashi as he pulled the scroll. As Naruto unsealed a new shirt from inside as he placed it on, it had the Uzumaki spiral on the front. So what now, Naruto said. Well, we have to wait a bit until the other teams or the day is up, so that we can get towards the other part of the test. But I'm sure it should be starting anytime soon. There is food outside if you're hungry. As Naruto nodded as he started to walk. Oh yes, I believe I should tell you this. There was a strange black creature that came from the ground that spoke to me earlier. Kakashi narrowed his eyes. In here? As Naruto nodded. We'll talk about this some more later, okay? As Naruto understood what he meant. With that he made his way outside, as Uncle followed behind him. As Itachi glanced towards Kakashi, is there any backlash, he asks. Well, a lot of people saw what Naruto did, so I'm pretty sure soon enough there will be a lot of eyes and rumors going around. But no one will try anything, given that the place has just recently settled down. I doubt anyone would want to try anything that would probably cause a national incident. Not to mention, they saw what he can do. I doubt they would try anything against him. You're right, Itachi said. Meanwhile, food was there for the contestants that passed through. As Naruto made his way over, as Anko narrowed their gaze towards said food, they wouldn't try to poison them after they came this far, and doing that, they would know the poison. But Naruto didn't seem to matter as he started to eat. He seemed rather hungry, perhaps fighting for so long took a lot of energy out of him. As it made her smile seeing him gobble down the food. It was then that footsteps came over to them, as Naruto slowly turned as he saw the girl. The one from Kumo, as he looked down towards her stomach, before looking her back in the eyes. Hello, he said. Hello, she said to him. Can we help you, Uncle asked. That stunt that you pulled off in the forest, she said. Not many genin can do something like that. What was it? I'm sorry, I cannot tell you, said Naruto. As he turned his back and started to eat once again, Uncle smirked, seeing him blowing her off so quickly. As Naruto then paused. Does your demon fear me, he said. She narrowed her gaze. What do you mean by that? The Bichu that you seal inside of your stomach, said Naruto. I can feel the anxiety. And not to mention, fear coming from it. Nibi. He can? This kid. He's something different, Kitten. Get away from him. But I must find out more, Kitten. You can do that later for now. Just get away from this thing, whatever it is. Thing? I'm not sure that it's entirely human. I'll explain more later. Just say your goodbyes and leave. Excuse me, she said as she left. What was that about, Uncle asked. The Biju in your stomach. It told her to leave. Wait, Biju? Wait. You can hear it? As she remembered Naruto telling her that girl was also a Jinchuriki. But he could hear it? Not everything, said Naruto, but I heard. It telling her to run. How do you do these things, Uncle said. I mean, I'm still in shock at what you did back in the forest out there. I'm not sure most Kages can do things that you do. You're basically like a god walking amongst men, you know that, right? You believe so, said Naruto. Come on, Naruto. Look at the things that you can do. Are you sure that you're entirely human, she asks. Huh. What if you're like some alien race, and you were sent to Earth to conquer it? As she smirked at that, you know, that would be making for a good book. I would call it The Naruto Chronicles, the alien species that was sent from the heavens to conquer Earth. But he got accustomed to the Earth cuisine, so he didn't bother want to conquer it, he just wanted to live there in peace and harmony, and settle down with his family. My family, said Naruto. Oh, yeah, it would be a part of my book, she said. Would you be my wife, Naruto asked. Uncle's face became red. What are you talking about? Usually, when someone writes a book, they usually find a way to incorporate yourself in the story. So perhaps you can write yourself in as my wife. It will be fun, he said, as he made his way to get some water to drink. As Uncle shook her head, she kept on getting flustered around him every time. As she calmed herself, and he didn't even know that he was doing it. But, well, he was just too good for his own good. Time skip, it didn't take too long. After Naruto's little fiasco in the forest, many teams had been launched away. Some of them had been blown back and knocked away, knocked down or unconscious when trees kept on falling down. And not to mention many of the scrolls had been detached, and they were thrown away and lost. So many teams could not find their scrolls. So the teams that made it was the team from Kumo, as they were the only one that made it out of the two that came. There was also the team from Konoha, the one and only. There was a team from Kiari there. These were different individuals. And there was also a team from the stone as well. There was no team from the sand there at all. The ones that sent did not make it. As they were all lined up, it was then that Naruto saw him, the man. He had grayish hair. He was wearing a strange scarf around his neck, a green one. He was wearing a mesh armor underneath, with his headband in his stomach. He had a strange staff attached to his back. As he calmly made his way, as he stopped in front of the group, his eyes made contact with Naruto and something happened. As Naruto found himself in an empty floating space, but his body did not move in real life though. Help me. Please. I can't fight it anymore. It's getting too strong. Who's there? Said Naruto. Someone. Help me. Who is it? Said Naruto. You. Human. Please. Help me. As Naruto focused as he saw a massive turtle. The thing was being pressed down, submerged into water, as Naruto realized he was also standing on said water. The genjutsu. Too powerful. I will lose eventually. Please, I need your help. Who are you? Said Naruto. I'm a Biju. Please, he doesn't deserve this. He doesn't want to do this. It will be a massacre. Help. Please. As Naruto looked at the creature. Aisabu. Aisabu. You know me. As Naruto was confused how he knew that name. Please help me. The genjutsu. I can't hold it for much longer. As the world returned back to normal. As Naruto heard Yagura speaking, his eyes switch. As Naruto, eyes activate the Rinne Sharingan as he focused on Yagura. As Naruto eyes focus on his seal as he saw the strange chakra inside of him. As Naruto eyes returned back to normal, the Anvus that were in the shadows that were hiding were completely caught off guard. They never expected someone to move so fast. As Naruto appeared in front of the man, Yagura turned but he could not stop as Naruto plunged 2 fingers on his skull and 1 into his stomach. Yagura's eyes went wide as something spasmed through his system as he collapsed. Anvus flashed in the air with their blades full as Kakashi moved from the balcony. As Itachi shot forward as well, Anko jumped into the fray as her body moved subconsciously. Stop! Yagura shouted out as everyone stopped. As Yujito stepped back away from the fray with her teammates. As Yagura panted, Don't harm them! Don't harm any of them! As the Anvus thought that your Mizukage was being controlled. I said stop! He shouted. They instantly stepped back. As the man got to his feet, realizing that he was in perfect control. As Yagura looked around as his eyes seemed clear. Tears actually formed in his eyes as they fell, running down his cheeks. He felt the weight of his heart just vanish, the pain off his shoulders, as he took several deep breaths. He then turned his gaze towards Naruto. What did you do? He said. I removed the genjutsu, said Naruto. How did you know? I saw it. Yagura came over as he placed both hands on Naruto's shoulder. Thank you, child, he said. Thank you. The man had literal tears in his eyes. Yagura thought that he would have to kill everyone. Now he saw what the depths of the jutsu wanted him to do. The longer it stayed, the more his mind would be corrupted. And he thought that it was right to slaughter everyone. He would have slaughtered all Kiri bloodlines. He would have slaughtered all ninjas that had bloodlines, even some of his friends. People that were so close to him, even a woman that he actually liked. He thought about killing her each night. And now that he was out of Seijutsu, he can see how badly he would have done things. How he would have massacred his own village. How a civil war would have broken out. While Yagura was a stern, dangerous man because he had control of the Three Tails, and don't show any mercy to his enemies, he was also a kind person. As the man pulled Naruto into a hug, too much emotions rushing over him. It was unseen for a Kage to do this, especially to a genin from another village, but the man was so grateful. As the man backed away, "Please, let me announce this first, then we can have a talk," he said. As Naruto nodded, as he told all the envoys to move back, the people in the room were still confused, as they didn't really understand what was going on. They had no idea what was happening at the moment. But Yagura then went on to announce that all of those who passed here will be moving on to the finals that will be happening in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time, they will fight in a stadium in front of their various daimyos and their kages as well that came to see them representing their villages. On the battlefield, they would never know who they were going to fight, so they were not going to be told who they were going to fight. They will find that out when the day finally came. As Yagura dismissed them, but everyone could see that he was in a hurry. There was a woman standing there. She had auburn hair, as she was dressed in a blue dress. "Yagura, what's going on?" she asked. "I'll talk to you later, Mi," said Yagura. "I need to talk to these shinobis first, okay?" Mi nodded, but she didn't understand. And what was that whole scene back there? The group was brought to the office. The moment they were inside, Yagura bowed his head to Naruto. Kakashi was shocked to see a Kage bow, especially to a genin. "How did you do it?" he asked. "I could feel it. The beast inside of you was in anguish. Its mind slowly being corrupted, stopping you from realizing. It asked for my help, so I decided to help." As Yagura turned towards Kakashi, "You don't know what is going on, do you?" "My apologies, but no," said Kakashi. "This child here, this wonderful child, saved me, and perhaps thousands." "What are you talking about?" Kakashi asked. "Someone was able to put an influence on my mind. I am not sure who it was." Kakashi was surprised that the man was telling him this kind of information, but concerned that Naruto just saved him, well, "I'm not sure who it was, but my mind was slowly being corrupted. Thoughts of killing my own subordinate, slaughtering my people, day by day. And I couldn't stop them. No matter what I did, I couldn't stop them. I was reaching my breaking point. But your student here, he was somehow able to remove that genjutsu on me. At first, I didn't even know that it was a genjutsu. I thought my people were turning against me, but now I can see that it was all a lie. Because of this child here, I am deeply in your death. You prevented a civil war and chaos from happening. And for that I applaud you, child," he said. "Excuse me, may you present me with your name once again?" "Naruto Uzumaki," said Naruto. "Yes, Naruto Uzumaki. I can see that you're a special individual indeed. After all, I heard that you were the one that put on that little show. But I'm not here to question about that. I'm just here to thank you for what you have done for me and my village," the man said. "I would like to find out some more about this. Even though you do not belong from this village, can I ask you and your team to not spread this information around to anyone else other than your Hokage? It cannot be known that someone is running through the elemental nation causing unrest between the people. That would just be dangerous. Not just for you, Mizukage-dano," said Yagura. "We understand," he said. "This will be kept between us and the Hokage alone." As Yagura nodded in kind, time skip. As Hiruzen would be coming to Kira himself to watch the upcoming fight, as Yagura would speak to him then. But Yagura was still happy. The man was beyond happy, he was overjoyed. Somehow his mind was now cleared by this child. And how he did it, Yagura did not know. But this child was special indeed. Many people are still wondering what the hell happened, and what caused Yagura to break down like that. They weren't sure. Yagura invited the group to stay in the village, as he wanted to show his hospitality for what they did for him, as a letter was sent back to the Hokage of Konoha. Let's just say the group didn't really mind about the hospitality. It was surely nice. Kushina would be making herself here very soon, and not to mention she would be bringing Mito as well, who wanted to see her brother fight. As Mikato was coming as well. Fukaku was also coming as well, as they were traveling to see their son. As many people were traveling to see the final of the exams that were going to take place, many daimyos, as they want to see the future tunings. Not to mention from all they heard, as many people were coming to see the prodigy of the Uchiha clan, and not to mention this prodigy Uzumaki as well. Yujito had went home, along with her team, as she informed the Raikage of what is happening. The Raikage would not go, given the fact that he was still having a problem with Konoha, and not to mention, Konoha and Kiri seemed to be on good terms now because of that boy. And all the blame would be turned upon him, although he was the one that did wrong. He would still not apologize. Although he had paid, he would not apologize. So he decided to stay out of it for now. He was in a sense someone to witness a fight, but him himself was not going to be there. The Teshikage was not going either, even though one of his team had passed through. So it would only be 2 Kages there. So with that, the team remained in Kiri, as Yagura made sure that they had full hospitality. All of them were given a room for themselves. They were basically given special treatment. Well, after what they did, the man thought that they deserved it, as he could not even imagine the bloodshed that he was about to bring down upon his village. Not only that, he also spoke to the beast inside of him, as Aisabu only wanted to sleep. Aisabu did not like to fight, he just wanted to be left alone. So as long as Yagura did not forcefully tore away his power or use him for some underhanded means, the both of them got along just well. And Aisabu and him got along really well, because of their natures being the same basically, as Yagura was not a violent person. The man wanted peace as much as Hiruzen, and he couldn't believe the bloodshed that he would have brought. So that is why he was so relieved that he was now freed from that curse. However, who did it to him did not allow themselves to be seen. The genjutsu that was placed on him was a slow-based genjutsu, to watch as he slowly turned into a mad dictator, because if he had just one day started to give out orders to attack his people, well, everyone will almost turn against him and believe that he was being controlled. So the genjutsu was slowly twisting his mind, slowly turning him to the side of him eradicating everyone. Yagura was a bit surprised when he heard that Naruto was a Uzumaki, even though he didn't show it, considering that Kiri was a part of the Allied forces all those years ago. But he was not Kage back then. Kiri was in the helping of the extermination of the Uzumaki clan, but that was a long time ago, and he wasn't a part of that. At the moment though, Kakashi entered to see Naruto sitting on the bed. As he was not moving or doing anything, he was just sitting there. "Are you okay, Naruto?" "Do you think my mother will be angry at me?" said Naruto. "Why would she?" Kakashi asks. "I saved him. He was a part of the village that helped annihilate the Uzumakis. Do you think she will be angry?" "Well, that is true. Kushina, as you know, is a kind person, and I'm sure that she wouldn't want to see a genocide of over 1,000 people, more than that, slaughtered if you could do something to stop it. Didn't she always tell you to do what is right?" "Yes, I suppose," said Naruto. "While you were in there, did you happen to see what or who did this to him?" "No. It was subtle. I believe the person did not show themselves actively in front of him. It was just placed. But whoever this person was, they're quick to escape without being noticed at all." As Kakashi sighed, "Naruto, did you feel the chakra that was subduing the Biju?" As Naruto nodded. "It is, isn't it?" "Yes," said Naruto. "Well, this is bad. You haven't told anyone, haven't you?" "Of course not," said Naruto. As Kakashi understood that Naruto knew, as there was only a few things in the world that can control a Biju, and not to mention place someone under a control like this: the Sharingan. And if the village were to find out that Uchihas were behind this, well, it would be bad. But Naruto hadn't said anything yet, and the standby, or Yagura, didn't seem to know, so they would keep it quiet until they told Hiruzen about it, as they couldn't allow Kira to find out about this, because it would look like Konoha was the one that did this, especially seeing that Naruto helped. So they would just keep quiet about that. Meanwhile, that was going on. "What?" "Yes, I was able to spy on him. It turns out that he's broken your illusion." "How?" I placed that specifically so he wouldn't find out, as it slowly corrupts him. It seems like he had help. Damn it. That boy. What exactly is he? The masked man asks. I'm not sure. But perhaps we're going to need him for the future. I've told you that. He's a special one. The chakra that he wields. Yes, you did. Make sure you keep an eye on him. The masked man frowned. He wanted Yagra to eliminate all the clans in Kira because it was too much of them. And he didn't want anything to ruin his plans, and not to mention, he wanted to use Kira as a base of operation. For the Akaski while, Yagra was laying siege on his own people. Fund some of the money from Kira to empower his organization, but now he can do that because everyone was alert, and everyone would be looking out for him. Damn it, he frowned to himself. He had to find out who this Naruto Uzumaki was. Because, from what he knew, there was only 2 Uzumakis in this world. One that he had personal dealings with, and another one that managed to survive that night. Somehow he didn't know how, but she did. Since then he hadn't checked in upon Konoha. Perhaps, no. The child would be too young, so it couldn't be. He didn't know what was going on, but he was going to find out. The days flew past rather quickly, as Itachi was able to use one of their private training ground to train, as he focused on his kunai and shuriken practice. As he was quite efficient in them, Shisui had showed him a few tricks or so. Anko on the other hand asked Naruto for his help regarding her training, speed, and not to mention evasion tactics. The days flew past rather quickly. The time came rolling around, as Kushina and Mito would be coming tomorrow. As Naruto was currently lying down in his bed, in the room that was given to him, as he was dreaming once again, he was brought back to that same place, and he stood in front of the woman. This time, she pulled him in as he felt the sensation of nothing but comfort, as she wrapped her arms around him, as her long hair wrapped around his body. He felt like it enveloped every inch of him, as he snuggled inside of it. Yes, you are mine now, remember, she said. As Naruto nodded, you belong to me, and I'm the only one that you belong to. Do you understand that? Yes, I understand, said Naruto, as she caressed his cheek once again. My little Naruto, you're all mine, she said. As Naruto hugged her back, he didn't know why, but he couldn't resist her. There was some strange connection between them. It seems like she felt it as well, as she hugged him back. As Naruto leaned into her touch, the woman looked up as she heard a cracking sound, the seal cracking some more. As she smiled to herself, it was then a hand reached in and grabbed Naruto and yanked him out. As the woman frowned, even in death, you still chose to stand against me, don't you, Hagoromo, she said. She might have been bound and unable to do anything to him, but soon enough the seal will be weakened even more. Soon her Naruto-kun will set her free, and he's hers, not anyone else. As she smiled at that thought. Meanwhile, that was going on, as Naruto found himself in a dark, unseeable place. He could not see a single thing, only thing he could hear was voices. Listen to me, child, and listen to me well. She's just trying to use you. If you muster the power to free her, do not. She will bring hell and destruction upon the earth, and take everything away from you that is precious. Your mind is being corrupted by her. You do not belong to her. You are your own person. Remember that, and never forget it. As Naruto woke up in bed, as he was sweating rather heavily, he looked around confused. The dreams, they become so more vivid. Not to mention, he could tell where every single tail beast was. He could tell the exact location of them. Not to mention there was something that was calling out to him. But it was not the woman. It was dark. It was so corrupted and dark. Darkness that he's never felt before. Just pure hate and destruction. And it was calling out to him. As he gripped his head tightly, as he saw flashes of his eyes, but it was large and it was just one big eye. As Naruto found himself in front of the said beast, as he was floating in air, he was just suspended there. You and I are one. Seek them out. Return me back to my state, and return back to me. You know where they are. Use the gifts that were given to you. Find them. Find them all! The thing screamed at him as Naruto was blasted back to bed. He started to hyperventilate. The dreams were becoming more real and vivid. He couldn't blot them out anymore. He sat up in bed. It would be better if he didn't sleep. It's not like he needed that much sleep anyway, as he folded his legs and just sat there as he waited until morning. The next morning he welcomed the surprise that came, as that sneaky little fuzzball crawled into his room after getting the location. She crawled inside, but Naruto already heard the door open as he was in the bathroom, as he was brushing his teeth. As he washed his face afterwards, and came out drying his face with a towel, the moment he did, surprise attack as Naruto caught her in mid-air. I told you, whenever you're attacking someone you should not scream surprise attack. Oh, I forgot, she said, with a smile on her face. Big brother, as she hugged him, as Naruto hugged her back. We're finally here, she said. As Kushina came in, with a smile on her face. Naruto, he said, as he walked over to her as the three of them shared a hug. As she smiled, she saw that he was doing his morning routine, as she taught him proper hygiene, and he always brushed his teeth. They were sparkly white after all. As Naruto smiled seeing them here, having them here inside the house with him, it calmed his mind from those vivid dreams, and he felt his connection to that woman slowly fading away. Said woman felt it as well as she frowned, as the woman had a nasty skull on her face. Somehow, because of what Naruto did, Hagoromo was able to break through. He wasn't able to stay for long, but he was able to do brief glances and not to mention pull Naruto out of there. Because of the power that Naruto contained from every single clan. After all, it all came from the Jobi in the beginning. The power where it came from. So he could contact with Naruto, but Naruto power was still undeveloped and erratic. But soon enough he'll be able to control it, and then they could speak properly. But he wouldn't allow his mother to get him, because if they did get together, if his mother was able to corrupt Naruto's mind, he'd become a being of nothing but absolute destruction. And he wasn't sure there was anyone in the world that could stop him. But guys, be subscribe right here. If you want to see the next part, do like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on the bell notification, stay posted, but I'm for now, see you guys soon. Peace.